welcome back to another episode of Sprue Talk. Today I'm joined by Brooke, the Airfix community manager. Hello, Brooke.
Hello.
And we've not done one of these for a little while now. There's been a lot going on in the team, a lot going on marketing-wise, isn't there?
It's the crazy time.
It has been absolutely crazy over the last few months. A lot's changed. I've got a little one at home now as well, so I think I've only done one Sprue Talk since my little one turned up, which has been amazing. But and then with work and trying to fit everything in, it's just been crazy. So apologies that we've not been around on Sprue Talk for a little while. Today we thought we'd give you something a little bit different. So Brooke and I are going to talk through some of the cool stuff that we've done through 2022, and I guess a few things that we are going to do in the next month, I guess. And
at the time this is filmed.
Obviously there's a lot in the pot still that we're working on that we can't talk about. That really, I mean, we've got a couple of days before we break up for Christmas as we sit here and film it. Hence the beautiful Christmas jumper. I've
gone for the green, but I didn't go for the jumper.
Yeah, and you've not put the antlers on, which I'm really disappointed about. But anyway. So I guess first things first is let's run through what you do, Brooke, actually, because you've done a Sprue Talk before.
Yes, back in April now. So I've only actually done one, and we've been running Sprue Talk for
nearly a year.
I don't know, yeah, nearly has been a year. But yes, so my official title is community manager. I wear a lot of hats in my role. I think it's the way you say it. But one of the main things I do is take care of Airfix social media. So everything you'll see on there, near enough, is created and curated from me. So that's in a nutshell. That's
so some of you may have, if you attended Telford or a number of air shows this year, some of you may have bumped into Brooke or might recognise Brooke from some of the little short videos and bits and pieces that Brooke does at these events. But if you've not met Brooke, but you've interacted with us on our social media channels, then you have essentially been talking to Brooke most of the time. As I tend to only really do Twitter, and even then I'm not allowed to, am I? So you tell me off.
I'll see a tweet pop up, and I'll have to tell you off when I get to
tell
the
me
office.
off. So it's usually 98% of the time it's Brooke, unless I get really bored and decide to do something a little bit different. but yes,
about a year and a half now in the brand, which is absolutely crazy because we're sitting here in December and it only feels like this year's range launch has only recently passed, but here we are,
Do you feel more prepared this year, though?
I do.
Honestly.
Well, yes. No, I definitely do, because, I've got that year behind me now, so I know what exactly we're looking for and also what to expect, because I really had no idea going into the first range launch just how all the incredible feedback you get, almost straight away. It was a shock to the system. So I do feel somewhat better prepared this year.
So obviously January last year when we announced the range and we did the Spitfire Day, which we'll come on to in a minute. But I remember, I think we had a meeting the week before range launch
making us
day.
Sound very organised as well.
And basically said, what should we do? And we pulled it all together. So Brooke actually is one of the only people in the brand team that you don't really get involved in next year's range until now.
No, and it's the way the office works actually is the room starts with Luke, the researcher, which makes sense. It all starts there. And then you kind of go around, you've got the designers, and then you've got marketing at the end. That's me. So it goes from research all the way through the design process. And then, I'm working on things that are coming next month, the month after. So so it's quite
nice actually to keep you in the present.
Yes.
Whereas the rest of us are sort of a year or 2 years ahead. So when we, I still don't think I've actually presented next year's range to you yet. I've not sat down and presented it. But
not officially.
You know what it is now.
I do.
But yes, so we're sort of putting that together. I certainly feel more organised from that. We're at least a week ahead of where we were this time last year, which is great. So let's move on to, we've got a couple of slides, and it's not going to be death by PowerPoint, but we just thought we'd bring in the telly, and we'll have to give the telly TV a name for reference.
Meet Steve.
Meet Steve, the TV. Just to go through a couple of slides, it's not death by PowerPoint, but just to give us a bit of a helping hand, me and Brooke a helping hand as we go through this Sprue talk, really. So as the title suggests, 2022 recap. So obviously last year began with us at Duxford, didn't it? So we had a phone call from the lovely people up at Imperial War Museum Duxford, and basically said we're pulling 12 Spitfires into a big hangar. The first time we believe it's ever been done with 12 working Spitfires. Do you want to be part of it? And obviously, what an amazing opportunity and thing that they did. So that's what we. That's how we started the year last year.
So we went up. I think I'd only been here a week, and we went and we were in this hangar, which you can't even tell from the photo really. If you're stood in this hangar with none of the aircraft, it's absolutely enormous, isn't it? So, and they're working through the event and sort of how it would work and everything. So seeing this, come together on the day and walking into this room was just incredible, wasn't it? Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, we went up there and had a meeting. What would have been September or something. Something like that. Yeah. And it was just empty. And now this is the airspace hangar. I may have got that completely wrong, but at Duxford, which of course is where the restored Victor now lives, up in this corner. That's the outside door, and this goes into their other big exhibition hall. So the Victor now lives at the back here. And you think you can get a whole V-bomber in here, in this space, and there's still tons of room, is quite amazing. So it was an amazing day, and we announced, unbeknown to the 100 or so people that attended and sat through the presentation, at the very beginning, we announced the brand new 124 scale Mark 9C Spitfire with a very cool video. Yeah. And there was a lot of umming and ahhing about how we might do that and where we should put the video, because there was no, here's what we're announcing. You press play on this fantastic video of the first built. Yeah. I sort of said hello to everyone and then just press play and turn the lights off. And I don't think I've ever managed to turn the lights back on after that. But no, and I'm tapped somewhere down here. As Dale pressed play on the video to the audience, I pressed post to all of our social media accounts. Emails went out to subscribers. Press releases went out. It all just went as we announced it, didn't we? Yeah. So and I remember feeling I had no idea, what kind of feedback we'd get from that. It was my first kit release, the first one I'd ever been involved in, and I remember trying to get your attention and going, oh my God, we've had X amount of shares or something like that, and you were, it's great, but it just went completely. And we did this day before our actual range launch. Day. Yes, and that's, I think, nobody expected us to announce, the day before. So it was an extra special launch. And to be fair, we hadn't actually planned to do that. It was only when we got the call from Duxford and we went up there and met the guys and had a look in their auditorium and they told us what they were going to do, and we just thought, well, this is Spitfires in the room. Yeah, this is just, it would be wrong not to do this. So it was great. I don't think we've ever managed to do that before. No. Announce a super kit a day before main range launch, put it on pre-order, direct and with our retailers, and as Brooke said, it was really important for us to. Obviously, the 100 or so people in the room found out about it at, say, 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was really important that those that couldn't get a ticket or couldn't attend for whatever reason or decided not to,
also found out at exactly the same time. So, and that, just on social media, not having an event at the same time is quite a bit of work.
It is,
so
there's a lot that goes into it in the background before.
Yeah.
And the event itself, because obviously this was all, the audience would have been unaware, we were announcing something, it was all about the Spitfire and the history of the Spitfire and artwork, CAD design and so on. So, you know, for me personally, it was the first time I got to see just the incredible passion people have for, you know, not just modelling but aviation.
Yep. Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. So yes, you mentioned it. So Luke, the Airfix researcher, he's been on here before. Some of you would have met him, of course. And Paramjit, the Airfix designer, one of our Airfix designers, joined us. And Paramjit actually got a call from me the
oh yes,
the
I forgot this. Yeah,
before.
he was never meant to present.
No, so Chris, the designer of the Spitfire, our Mark 9, obviously not the main thing, but he tested positive for COVID the day before, I think, or he had food poisoning, but he was very ill.
Very much in that, you know, pandemic.
Yeah, and he was very ill. So I had a text message about 4 o'clock the evening before, just saying I can't do it, and then I was just phoning up all the other designers saying, "Can you do it?" And thankfully, Paramjit was available. This was on a Sunday, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Paramjit was available, and we lured him in with a breakfast.
I was just going to say, yeah, we were sat in a McDonald's, I think it was, on the way there, and he was reading through.
Yeah, so Paramjit is a bit of a hobbit, really. So he has his first breakfast, then his second breakfast.
And Levinses.
Yeah, so
he'll kill us first.
So sorry, Paramjit. So I think we fed him a couple of breakfasts in the morning, and then it was great. But you wouldn't have known that Paramjit had only seen that presentation for a couple of hours before he had to get up really early the following day.
No, he absolutely smashed it.
So that's essentially how we started the year outside of the office, and it just went mental, which was fantastic. Since the Spitfire exhibition, obviously we've been continuing to work with Imperial War Museum Duxford, and in January next year, so 2023, because it depends when you're watching the video, of course, they've invited us back up to do something similar. So they're pulling Hurricanes together, aren't they, in the same sort of space as I'm going to go back one slide, please.
For a spotlight exhibition of the Hurricane.
Yeah.
The unsung hero, as it were.
Yeah. So they're going to they're pulling together. I think it's all the flying Hurricanes that usually live at Duxford. There might be a few others. They're going to pull all those into the hangar, plus maybe a few other things. Their Mark 1 Spitfire, of course, will be tucked up in there for the winter anyway. And we are going to go along and do a similar presentation. So if you've never heard Luke and one of our product designers talk about the process that they go through, research and design. If you want to ask them questions, then I would highly recommend looking out for it and joining us on the day. Of course, one of the beauties of holding this sort of thing at Duxford is after the event, as it were, the presentation, people can then just roam the grounds at Duxford and go into any hangar and do whatever they want within reason, of course. But so you pay for admission to Duxford, and then I think it's a little bit extra to hear the talks and bits and pieces.
And it's such a... So we've been about maybe 2-3 times now, well, since I've been with the brand, and it doesn't matter how many times you go, you're still blown away every time, and you might not cover everything because it's huge, isn't it, the ground. So
never.
But really excited for that event. In Jan. So we are going to hold a make and paint session there for the day as well, and which will be free for anyone attending, and we'll sit down there with children or even just themselves and build a Spitfire. The Hurricane SIG, so Special Interest Group, they
were at Telford last year. We'll come on to Telford in a minute. They're going to put on a bit of a display of Hurricanes models. Not all Airfix, but that's fine. I won't hold that against them. So it's going to be a different event to the Spitfire event, but it'd be good.
Yeah.
I say now, we are not announcing a 124 scale Hurricane.
I thought you might add that in.
Yeah.
Or will we? No,
we're not. And I'm not calling. I'm not bluffing. We're not announcing a 124 scale Hurricane. Unfortunately.
Yeah. It would have been amazing, but
Yeah, we'll see what. Hopefully, they do these every year. And at some point it might tie into something that we will do again. But yes.
The go-to response is never say never.
Yeah, never say never. But I mean, we got a call a couple of months ago to say we're doing the Hurricane exhibition. Do you want to be part of it? There's not enough time to design a 124 scale Hurricane, and it's just not in our plans. So at the moment, but
so it's January 15th. 10 o'clock, and we'll pop something below, won't we? So you can book the tickets. Yeah,
there'll be loads of links at the bottom of this video. If you're watching on your laptop or mobile phone, you'll be able to go and click all those and check it out. It's cool. That's Duxford.
He's ticking off in his.
Yeah, I am. I'm literally going to have to tick this stuff off as we go through it. And of course, as a brand, we attended a couple of air shows at Duxford this year. So there was one in June that we went along with some really small gazebos. The weather was pretty horrific.
Freezing.
Yeah. And so that was great. And then we sort of announced that we launched the Spitfire for TV, but we'll come on to that in a bit. And then we went along to the Battle of Britain event, which again, if you've never been to Duxford, a Duxford air show, I would highly recommend their Battle of Britain air show in September. It's just amazing. I think there was something like 15 or so Spitfires flying at the same time, all up in the air at the same time. They all took off at the same time, and that's how they sort of finished the day.
I remember you saying that just when everyone was silent, it just immediately captured everyone, didn't it? Yeah,
so the Queen obviously sadly passed away the week before, and they wasn't too sure whether they were going to go ahead with the event or not, given it's a big gathering of people, and the nation was in mourning. But they decided that actually, to respect the Queen, it would be better to hold the event, and but they changed the flying display around a little bit. So we did a 2-minute silence, which was then finished, if you like, by a Spitfire flying in. It had already taken off at the beginning of the 2-minute silence, and it sort of went off and did a circuit. And then you could hear a pin drop from one end of Duxford to the other, with thousands of people stood there. And then you just heard the Merlin roaring really low across the airfield. It was absolutely amazing.
Unmistakable.
Yeah, and so the PR Spitfire, which is in this photo here, was the NHS one, did the display and did a sort of 5-minute or so display, and the crowd remained silent for the entire display. Unreal.
Yeah.
So yes, obviously, thankfully, we're not going to have that every year, but I think it was far better to have the show and have that display and that those few minutes as a sort of mark of respect for the Queen.
Yeah, definitely. A tricky decision for Imperial War Museums, I'm sure, but I agree.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah. So anyway, go to the Battle of Britain show in September. I think the tickets are already available, and hopefully we'll be there. I haven't decided yet. I'm sure we will, and you can come and meet some of us as well. We've had this slide. Next slide, please. Call me Chris Whitty. Yeah. Well, that took us to the day after, I guess, which was, and we're not doing this day by day. I just thought, oh my God.
And the next day.
We didn't feed Paranjit his breakfast, and he was very annoyed. So the following day we had our range launch announcement at 4:00 that afternoon, which we brought forward cheekily by 30 minutes.
I think you got excited.
I did. Well,
we all did.
Our web team got really excited. So we have I guess a bit of a history with our websites all crashing, because as a business we launch or announce all our products, our new products for that year, all on the same day. And Hornby goes first, which is the site with the biggest traffic, especially on that day. And because of that, it tends to then just wipe everyone else out. And the online team, did a fantastic job in managing that demand from about 6:00 in the morning when the Hornby range was announced, through the entire day. So it went Hornby, Scalextric at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, to ensure that the servers, all that technical stuff, could be scaled. Scalextric happened. There was another, obviously, increase on top of the wave that they were still riding for Hornby, and then Airfix Airfix was planned at 4:00. But in order to make sure that we didn't hit a go live button bang on 4:00 and then everything failed, we had always planned to sort of do it a little bit earlier, to make sure that everything was ready for Brooke's social posts.
Yeah, the video went live. I remember you saying, I feel like an expectant father right now.
Yeah.
For us, we're sat there at our screens, just tunnel vision to our screens, right? Is everything ready? Is everything correct?
I couldn't tell you what else I did that day, actually. It just 4:00 that afternoon.
Yeah.
And then we brought the video premiere forward by 15 minutes. And then it all just went live, and that was amazing, because Brooke and we actually sat there on the comments on the YouTube live, the premiere, throughout the entire time of that video. Yeah,
just responding to feedback. I think you were doing the YouTube video, and I was on social platforms. But it's really interesting for us in this era, I suppose, because you launch 10, 15 years ago, you'd launch a product, and you wouldn't get immediate feedback because that wasn't available to us. So now the entire range goes live, and instantaneously we've got feedback, which is amazing and really valuable to us, but we can also respond in real time. So it's works really well on that level.
Well, there's only a few of us, so can't respond to every comment, but it is amazing. I guess previously it was just we would put the catalogue, we'd send the catalogue out to our retailers, and you would have to line up and wait to receive it, but buy it. But that's how the technology and certainly social media has really helped the brand and the community, the modelling community, which is great. So should we talk about 23 range launch?
I wasn't sure if you were going to.
No, I haven't really decided until now. We're going to do the same thing for the 2023 range launch. So the 10th of Jan, Tuesday. Yes. The 10th of Jan at 4:00, and it will be 4:00 because the online team have learnt not to put it live half hour early, so don't try and be cheeky. But at 4:00 we plan to launch or announce the 2023 product range.
Launch, yeah. So the video will go live. Your video will go live.
Haven't filmed that yet. Yeah.
Such organisation.
Thanks for reminding me.
No, and then at the same time, we'll, I guess, strip feed is the word, to social media, covering the new tool. Stop being very careful what I'm saying now.
Yeah. That's not why we don't tell Brooke anything. But so we will sort of do it worked really well last year, and then we'll be on the comments, and for as long as we can stay awake for that day. And
join us.
Yeah, come and join us. So we will launch with the YouTube premiere, which I mentioned I haven't filmed yet, and Nathan on camera one, I'm going to call it, is filming me on in 3 days' time, 4 days' time.
Hurry up, Dale.
Yeah, I need to go and write my script. Would you believe it's scripted? So we'll premiere that video. So if you're not a subscriber and want to get an alert as soon as that video goes live, then subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on the social media platforms, and you will see some notifications as soon as we go live. So please do make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps us ensure that our hard work in producing all this content is seen as soon as it's relevant, really. So that's 23 range launch. Don't ask me what we're going to do, but I guess what you could do is put in your comments below what you think we're going to announce next year. That would be great, and we will go through all of those. I do see all the YouTube comments. Some of them nice, some of them nasty. But definitely put your suggestions in the comment section below, and the team will go through those, and to ourselves we'll say how close or wrong that person is. If you get a thumbs up to a comment, doesn't mean we're doing it, by the way. So that's January, which you're now getting ready for. I've sort of done as much as I can short of the video. So
very much in range launch zone at the moment. So it's the week before Christmas as we film this, and there's a lot to do.
There's still a lot to do. Yep. Then still in January, but certainly not the following day of range launch. We released the 2022 Airfix Club pack, which contained these two Hawk T1s. So
this was the first time we'd announced a club kit with two kits in one box.
No,
we've done two kits.
No,
before.
So we've I think we even did one with 3 kits in, but usually it's one kit with 2 deco options.
Yes,
and that was the point of difference. So, but the way the Hawk is tooled and designed, the tools is laid out, is actually really efficient for us to manufacture Hawks, and you can basically make 2 Hawks with every cycle of the tool. So it felt right that we put 2 Hawks in a club pack, even though the cost to us was the same as the previous offering, and sort of the next offering, which we're not going to talk about, but we did take it to Telford, so it is out there, but we're not going to talk about it just yet because we've got enough good stuff to talk about. So Brooke, you look after the club.
I do, yes. That's one of my hats. So this year, I guess a real focus was, making sure it's a really vibrant, close community where people feel they can share their tips, techniques, builds, and so on. And I think that's carried through. It's what we try to carry through all of our community activity. But yes, this year, a few key things to mention for the club were the partnerships we formed to uncover some of the other stones and aspects of the hobby, which are interests in aviation and military and specific eras. So one of those partnerships was Battle Guide Virtual Tours, who produce these really amazing videos, don't they? These tours with drone footage. I think they mix it with archive.
Dan, one of the main guys for this, we knew from previous, and I guess his main source of income pre-COVID was to go over to Europe and actually do physical tours over trenches and really important areas of various conflicts, and then COVID happened, or shortly before COVID actually, he started to do some virtual tours. And then COVID happened, and of course restrictions in travelling, and even if he could get over to Europe from the UK, that no one really wanted to pay for a tour or travel because of COVID. So his library of videos has really grown, and he's got some amazing contributors to it. And there's one video I watched where they're talking about I think it's a First World War battle, and the drone. It starts off with some drone footage, essentially where this row of trenches were, and as he's talking over the footage, the drone lifts off only slightly, and then starts to make its way forward towards what would have been the German trenches. And as that's happening, he's then talking about obviously the guys that actually did that in real life, and it was quite moving actually to sort of retrace their steps.
Yeah.
Okay, the scene now is a beautiful French farm or whatever, and a lovely green or field, not the horrific scenes that would have been back in the day, but to retrace their steps virtually. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter how able or not you are. You can pay what I think is a very reasonable price for a couple of hours of a tour. Most of the time they're done live as well, and he stays on afterwards to answer any questions, and we'll sort of go back and really steer his tours to the audience that he has there and then. So my dad loves them. Yeah,
it's really telling a story in a way that it hasn't been told before. You might have read up on the history, or watched a documentary even, but because it ties the sort of modern filming with the archive, and he's on location as well. They're on location. It really is fascinating. And as a special club offering this year, one of the special benefits of the partnership was an exclusive tour.
Yep.
Which is still available in member areas, but it's Operation Jericho, isn't it?
Yep. So Second World War, a group of Mosquito fighter bombers flew over to essentially help out a number of people break out of a German prison, or Germany-held prison, in France, I think it was, or Belgium, that sort of area. Apologies, I should know that. And so the tour, I think it's about 20 minutes long or so. So it's not vast, but the tour talks about the Mosquitoes taking off really early that morning. I think it's really foggy. They've got escorts, so then they come over and they start to do their runs and things. And absolutely amazing tour, well worth. If you're an existing club member, go to the members area and you can go and find it and sit there and watch it. Yeah. If you're thinking about joining and that sounds something interesting, then obviously hit the button and join up, and you'll have instant access to the club members area. You don't have to wait for anything to get access to the club members area, or indeed your discount benefits to the club. But you have to have processed that item in your basket on the website before that then all opens up for you. So that's Battlefield. That's Battle Guide virtual tours, and we're talking to the guys there again about what we could do and offer for 2023, which is good fun. Yeah,
some exciting things happening there as well. I'm just looking at Dale going,
don't talk about
don't say.
And then I guess the next partnership.
Yes, so more recently, we've partnered with Spitfires.com, who, if you haven't heard of before, was Balkby, wasn't it? Balkby Academy before. And God, I don't know if you'll cover off a bit of info about Spitfires.com.
Yeah, so they were essentially the first people ever to offer two-seater Spitfire flights, and but also train. If you're wealthy enough and you've bought a Spitfire, or you just want to have the opportunity to fly a Spitfire, then you can go to these guys and they will teach you how to fly a Spitfire, which obviously will take a little while. And obviously, if you've got the opportunity and keys to a Spitfire every now and then, you sort of need to go through these guys as an academy and learn everything. So it's quite a mix of products and services that they provide. We popped down there at some point last year, and when I met the fantastic team down there, and not we didn't have really an agenda other than
Just want to be around Spitfire.
let's go and see some cool Spitfires.
Everyone's going 2-seater.
Is that coming up today? Is never given the opportunity in that, but well, you did fly a Spitfire simulator. Yeah. So I guess I've flown a Spitfire simulator. Which was amazing, but we'll come on to that in a second. But so that's Spitfires.com, and since then we've started to pull a number of things together. We've got the simulator there, which is an actual Mark 9 Spitfire cockpit.
Yeah, it's not what you'd think ordinarily of as a simulator. You walk in and it's an entire room, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it's 90% authentic Mark 9.
Mark 9 cockpit, yeah.
Yeah.
You walk into this room and the main wall, if you like, is all it's like a big dome, isn't it?
Yes, the whole screen.
You get into this cockpit, which is just sat there, and you've got all these projectors, obviously, that project onto the dome, and you climb in the Spitfire as you would the real thing, and put the headset on, and the canopy closes up, and that's the first time I've ever been in a Spitfire with a canopy shut, I must admit, which was very different. And then you are talking to essentially the instructor who's just stood behind you. He has one of the most calming voices I've ever heard in my life, doesn't he?
Yeah. It comes through your headset. And even though, you do feel like you're in the air, that's what I felt like when I was sat inside. And I wasn't panicked or anything. He was just walks you through the entire process. Yeah.
All you can see when you're sat there in this cockpit with your with everything shut up and your hat on with a headset and everything, all you can see is
coast.
Is coast or it was landscape. The Spitfire wings, of course, which are projected so they could change the mark and bits and pieces later. But I mean, I guess if you leant forward and really turned back, you would be able to see parts of the room. It actually made me feel motion sick.
Well, you were doing all sorts of victory rolls and
showing off really.
Unapproved
takeoffs or whatever. No, it made me. It was that realistic that actually when Brooke was flying it, I was sat there thinking, I'm just sat on a little bar stool back here, and I feel quite sick just watching you do this. So then, but actually getting in myself, I felt better flying it. So we were offering. They've offered a discount to our club members.
Yes, so to book, just head to the members area. It's 10% off. All Airfix club members get 10% off the sim. I believe they offer a half an hour and an hour. Don't quote me on that. Session in the sim. But while you're down there, you get to have a look at the hangar and bits and pieces, and it's so worth the trip. It's just. Who wouldn't want to be around Spitfire? Yeah,
I mean, they absolutely love what they do down there, don't they? And
comes true.
Guarantee that they will give you a tour around their hangar and any bits of kit that they've got sat down there. So they're single-seat Spitfire. And then, obviously, they operate one or two-seater Spitfires, and they've got some... I mean, you just walk around their hangar and then there's just a bit of a Spitfire just sat there on a shelf. It's absolutely, a nose cone just sat there on the ground. You just think, bloody hell. So absolutely amazing. And, I mean, I guess it's the closest thing you can do to
flying around
before you actually get in the back of a Spitfire.
But it is used to train, isn't it?
So they opened it up to the Warbird community the other year. And so I don't know if they can rack hours up on it, but, if you want to learn to fly a real Spitfire and you're flying Harvards or whatever at the moment, then you can go there and they will teach you how to fly a real Mark 1. All the dials and everything works in the cockpit. You literally from the get-go. So that's the simulator. And then the relationship is built on. The website at the moment, if you go onto the airfix.com up until the end of January, End of Jan? Yeah. That if you buy a gift set or starter set on our website, then you are entered into a free prize draw to fly in the back of one of their Spitfires, which is absolutely amazing. For the sake of our cheapest, our lowest price starter set is $11.99. So for $11.99, you could essentially win the opportunity to fly in the back of a Spitfire. There are obviously terms and conditions, so head to our website and find the page in the community area, and check all the terms and conditions out before you enter or buy a gift set. And every gift set purchased is essentially a leather token to the
one set equals one entry.
One entry,
essentially.
yeah. So buy your family some gift sets and get yourself 10 entries to the competition, and just don't tell them that's why you've bought them some gift sets. But so that's great. I'm really looking forward to announcing the winner. And then obviously going down there and being part of the day with them would be really cool.
I'm getting very jealous, actually.
Hoping that they don't turn up and then I get to go up in the Spitfire, because we've paid for it. So it's got to happen. You're 5 minutes late. I'm sorry. Wesdale, he's in that Spitfire.
Already.
And they've also just acquired a really small light aircraft passenger plane. That's what was parked across the doors when the Spitfire shoot the other day.
Oh yes.
And I think they can get sort of 6 people in the back of that. So if you head to the Spitfires.com website, they were offering a promotion where if you bought a two-seater experience, then some of your family members could fly up in an aircraft alongside you for certain parts of that experience, which is pretty cool.
I'd be interested to know how many people would actually love to fly in a Spitfire, because obviously an incredible once-in-a-lifetime experience. I don't think I could ever do it. I don't think my stomach could do it.
I think I will be sick, but I just...
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Do you want me to do another roll? Yes, please. And so I'm pretty sure I will be sick if I ever get the opportunity.
But worth it,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how green I go. What else are we doing with Spitfires.com? And then we did the photo shoot the other day, didn't we?
Yes, Airfix Spitfires.com photography evening. The first one we've ever done, I think.
Certainly that we can anyone can remember.
Yeah, which was amazing. So we went down, brought some of the team, brought Luke, our researcher, who went over, CAD design, and other bits and pieces. And at the same time, the Spitfires.com team were carrying out their own tour and history on the grounds, and the Mark 9, lovely Mark 9 that was in the middle of the hangar at the time. And then later that evening, there was an engine run, which was quite funny actually, wasn't it? Because everyone's going, ramp it up, because it was so freezing, so cold, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That it needed a bit of work.
So waited for it to get dark, and which didn't take too long actually. And then the Mark 1, not Mark 1, the Mark 9 single seater was out on the pan, and after all the presentations, they sort of pumped it full of a little bit more fuel than they would do usually to start it, and just to try and get it to live up to its name really, and it did, didn't it? And then they run it for about 5 minutes or so, and then they shut it down, and then they literally picked it up and turned it around. So all of the photographers, all the people that attended the event, could then get shots of the Spitfire from a different angle, which I thought was great that they did that. And so they pumped it full of a little bit more fuel and fired it up, and all the flames come out the opposite side, which was the side that everyone was facing just moments before. But actually, I think if the flames had come out on the side all the people were, they wouldn't have lost their eyebrows, but I think it would have just been too much for their cameras. But so I think it actually created. Well, I've seen some of the photos. Absolutely amazing photos.
So good.
So I mean, they're really keen for us to do something like that again with them next year. So hopefully, that's something that we can bring to you again with Spitfires, or maybe something else. But as they quite rightly said to me when I said, "Well, could you get something else down here, like a P-51 or you know a 109 or something a bit different?" And they said, "Well, we are Spitfires.com." So I was like, fair enough. But that's not to say that, of course, that they won't look at getting other interesting aircraft down for a displayer or tours or talks and things. And of course, Gertie, those that know that name, which is the Silver Spitfire, flew around the world a couple of years ago. Gertie usually goes back to Goodwood, which is Spitfires.com, and has some maintenance done there. So during the summer, Gertie's normally kicking around Spitfires.com, and I think Gertie an evening shoot would be amazing.
Oh yeah, that would be.
If
Imagine
we could
the sunset, beaming off the fuselage would be amazing.
Yeah. So it's not in the UK. Gertie's gone home. So hopefully, when that comes back over, we can twist some people's arms and make that happen. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Spitfire themed, of course, which is it's been
again, not another Spitfire.
Yeah, not another Spitfire. Thanks for all those comments. Not another Spitfire. Spitfire themed again, and I guess also community themed. So we've held a couple of YouTuber events this year where we invited some YouTuber creators along to a couple of days. So one day was here in Margate back in the summer, and then there was this day held a couple of weeks ago at the location down on South Coast where our Spitfire is being made. Our 124 scale Spitfire is actually being made. So you can see there that it's a very small space. They're not cut out for big presentations or anything. And
these are boards, aren't they?
They're big plaster boards that we managed to just lean up against the shutter door there. There's a 6 metre banner. And then, so attending here, we've got some YouTubers that some of you may recognise, or if you're watching, will recognise the back of your head. So we've got Gary from Gary's Stuff sat here. We've got Moz sat there. Matt from Model Minutes is sat in here somewhere. Nuno is sat here. The other chap, Wayne's from Wayne's World, is sat there. And then a number of other people from magazines, modelling magazines. You've got... Oh, he's going to kill me now. I'm going to get a text message when this goes live. Model officer.
Yes.
James. Sorry, James. Sat right at the front there. So really sorry, James. Jen from Genesis Models is sat there. She brought along...
we shouldn't have started naming names.
No, this is really bad now. I'm so sorry. But that was great. And Luke and Chris presented the research process presentation, and then Chris, the designer of the Spitfire product, then went through everything that he had to do to bring the model to life. And the guys were able to film every single part of their day with us, and then got to tour around the factory and see the moulds in operation and everything, which is great. And we've seen some fantastic videos from them. So thank you very much, guys, for attending and creating that content. I know Gary's sort of drip feeding his videos, although I know he's trying to get back in there again to do some more videos. And Moz has done a video. He's got over 100,000 views at the point of recording this. And Matt from Model Minutes, his video's gone berserk as well. So
I think the feedback in general was really, really positive from the event, from both the YouTuber event and the tooling visit, is what we called it. So it's been a key theme for us this year, and will continue to, is bringing people into the brand more, and behind the scenes, and so everyone can really understand not only what we do, but why we do what we do. I guess we are. I mean, we pride ourselves on being as transparent as we possibly can, and the people here and write about Airfix products or create videos about Airfix products every week or whatever, and we like to think every week, but so why wouldn't we build those relationships up? And we don't pay anyone to say nice things about us or bad things, and but it's for us, it's just building those relationships up. And all these people have our email addresses,
not always a good thing, Moz. But they have our email addresses. No, I'm joking, Moz. And they can ask us questions at any point, can't they? And if they're putting a video together on something and they think, they've got a bit of a grey area and they're not too sure, if we can tell them, then we will. And I think that's really important for us as a community, not just Airfix, but as a modelling community, to make sure we're transparent.
It's not only does it help, the Airfix brand, but the hobby in general. I think mentioning Moz again, I think he said, I want Airfix to win. Actually, no, I want scale modelling to win.
Yeah, which is exactly what we want. So we try to be as transparent as we possibly can. Moz, keep on picking on Moz. Said something in his video when he was walking around the tooling area, which he shouldn't have said. But it's quite funny that it's been picked up.
I don't know about this.
No?
No. I was unfortunately, after months of planning the event with Dale, poorly on the day, wasn't I?
You couldn't attend.
So I was gutted. But no, what's this?
No, I can't tell you. Can't tell you. You have to go and watch Moz's video, actually, and see if you can pick up what he says as he's just about to walk over to a big injection moulding machine, but it's quite funny. Anyway, Moz, you're a naughty lad. So that was a couple of weeks ago. This is why we've not done a Sprue talk, by the way. So then what else have we been doing? So Lancaster, the sort of feature documentary film, the producers the producers sort of contacted us and said, we're doing this. They made Spitfire, similar film the other year, and they were just coming up to launching in Lancaster, and they sort of called us up and said, do you want to be part of it? And we said, yes, please, that'd be fantastic. And we sort of built the relationship from there, and I've done a Sprue talk. Some of you may have watched it in here with Trevor and David. David's the director and Trevor was a producer. And we invited along to the premiere and sort of really to
I guess it feeds into, again, the other aspects of the hobby and, why people, start the hobby in the first place out of interest in, this era and, other bits and pieces. And it just made sense, didn't it, at the time to partner up. And the production is fantastic, isn't it? I was in tears watching it. Yeah, if you've not seen it, do go and buy it on DVD. I know it's available on DVD around the world now. Yeah. Sky put it on Sky free. So do go and find it and watch it. And of course, the other week we lost Johnny Johnson, who was there at the premiere, along with a number of other veterans that feature in the film. And I remember there was a moment. I recall before it went live at the premiere. It felt like such an honour, didn't it, to be there on the day. And everyone stood. I think Trevor was it on stage said, "Can everyone who isn't a veteran, please stand?" And I think there was a 5
huge
minutes.
Applause. Yeah, it was huge. It just kept on going.
Quite rightly.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And the old boys were at the bar before. Being fed pints that I'm sure they shouldn't be drinking before the actual premiere, and so that was great from all those involved.
Yeah. It was great. It was an honour to be involved and support the documentary. So.
Yeah. So we've got some signed boxes by some of the producers and directors.
We do actually, yes.
And some massive posters, which we still haven't quite worked out what to do with yet. So maybe we will put those up as Airfix Club competition prizes. We'll start to drip some of those out as well. And if you want a massive poster, then perhaps write into us and we can see what we can do. We've only got a few, but
it's this. But I think it's A1. I don't know.
I think it's even bigger than A1. It's huge. So if you've got a home for it, write into us and we can see if we can get it out to you. But we can't promise anything. But I'd like to think that they go to a good home. So I think this is Johnny Johnson just on the end here. But yeah, God bless him. Okay, moving on. Yeah. So I wanted to
Oh, Malcolm.
I wanted to put Malcolm in here, and he's going to kill me for.
I love he's chosen this picture.
He's going to kill me for finding this photo of him online. Absolutely love Malcolm. So Malcolm is the founder and chairman of Models for Heroes. And Models for Heroes is a charity that supports serving and ex-service men and women, but also blue light. So emergency personnel, through I basically support them through mental health issues, and PTSD, and they use model making as a form of recovery. And it's fantastic what they do, and they hold a number of modelling groups and sessions across the UK. To support many people from many different types of backgrounds. Yeah. And you can be referred to one of these sessions by your GP, which is just amazing that you can go to your GP and they could potentially refer you to
prescribed modelling.
Prescribed modelling, yeah, and it is amazing. And many of the people watching this video will you will recognise the benefits of modelling to mental health and well-being. And Malcolm is at the sort of spearhead, if you like, of that for Models for Heroes. And so we support the charity as much as we can. We give them kits during the course of the year, and of course, one of the things that you can do to help the charity is send in your Airfix Flying Hours tokens. So on the top of the majority of Airfix boxes, as it happens, I have one here. There is a Flying Hours token. You got that, Dan? Thumbs up. There's a Flying Hours token. If you're a club member, Airfix club member, then I'll say that again. If you're an Airfix club member, then of course you can put those in your passport that you're sent when you first sign up to be a club member, and send them in to us, and you can be sent free kits and bits and pieces, a bit of a reward scheme, which is fantastic. If you're not an Airfix club member, you can still cut those tokens out and send them to Models for Heroes. And then usually every 6 months or so, I get a massive box of tokens from the guys. Thankfully, they've already counted them, and I trust their counting skills. And then we basically give them as many free kits as those tokens allow. They're like a super club member, and which is great. That they can, that they can do that, and people can support them. The other thing you can do, of course, to support the charity is the guys go to a number of model shows throughout the year, ranging in size, and you can, if you know they're going to one, you can take along a couple of kits that you're never going to build, and just donate them to the charity, and they absolutely love that. And we put a shout out, didn't we, before Telford?
Before Telford. I think it was only 2 social media posts to say, if you're coming down to Telford, bring a kit with you to donate. I don't think we expected quite so many responses, but we went over to chat to Malcolm, didn't we? And he went, "What have you done?"
We didn't tell them that we were going to do it. And Saturday, he said Saturday when the doors first opened, it was crazy, because obviously everyone was, IPMS members get to enter Scale Model World, and I think it's an hour or 30 minutes before the general public. And everyone was sort of stood in this queue with bags of models, literally bags of models, and sort of walked through and went straight to Models for Heroes, and just sort of just handed these bags over. And Malcolm said to me later that day, he said it was like being at a rock band gig. He said it was sort of 10 people deep, and but people didn't want to wait to chat. But they wanted to hand their kits over, so they thought, well, we'll hand the kit over, but then go and see some stuff, and then come back. Yeah. And he said people were literally handing these bags of kits over, so these kits were crowd surfing to get to the stand.
And that's why I love what I do, because that is community right there, isn't it? Absolutely.
So I think they filled up a transit van full of their donations that weekend, and all of those get they get logged back at their base. And I guarantee you, they start to go out the following week to people that have asked for certain models. It's great.
Yeah. So thank you so much. If you were one of the people who donated, there is a video online on YouTube. I think it's called Piece by Piece.
Piece by piece.
That sort of explains what Models for Heroes is all about. And I watched this about 6 months ago in the office. And I was crying at my desk, wasn't I?
Yep.
And have a watch
done.
if you can.
I wondered what I'd done wrong.
Yeah. Must have been a Monday or something.
Yeah, so we put the website link in the section below. There's another link we need to add down there, and go and have a look on the website and see what you can do. I know times are hard, but I guarantee if you've got a big stash of kits at home, there's going to be 1 or 2 kits there that you're never going to build, and donating it to these guys is a massive help. So the Malcolm, the two Malcolms, actually come along to the Spitfire tooling event and did a little presentation there, which is great because they are modelers at heart as well. So they absolutely love what they do. It's a fully registered charity and everything. And go to their website. And if you ever see them at a show, go and say hello. They will love it.
Yeah. And genuinely the nicest people you'll ever meet as well. Yeah,
you can't miss Malcolm. He's huge. He's a very tall chap, and that could actually be a real P51 in his hand. But he's a gentle giant. He's brilliant. So go and say hello. I guess this is Paramjit. For those that don't know, I haven't asked him to do this, but I'm sure he won't mind. I'll go and tell him that we've done it in a minute. And
we can't walk anywhere without Paramjit at an event without being stopped. Can we now? He's the famous one.
We can't be, always being accosted. No, he loves it, really. So unless he's eating his McDonald's or something, he gets a bit upset with that one. But so the team have been on and off filming for the next series of Hornby Model World this year. Yes. Yeah, this year. Which we thought would go live on TV about now, actually. But that's out of our hands when programmes are actually published. But there's going to be an announcement very soon, and the first episode is being aired in January. Yeah. I think there's 10 episodes. Airfix is at least 2 of them. I haven't had that
cat's out of the bag now.
What, that we're doing it? Yeah. Oh well. Sorry. Paramjit, of course, features. It wouldn't be Hornby Model World without Paramjit featuring. So Paramjit features, and you get to follow him through the design of the amazing 1/48 scale Buccaneer, new tool that we launched this year. And then Chris, the designer of the Spitfire. He's got to be known for something else soon, surely. He's designed loads of stuff, but so they followed Paramjit and Chris, Buccaneer and 1/24 scale Spitfire, and then of course talked to a number of other people in the business that play vital roles in making that happen. Luke the researcher and us. Did you go on camera? Did they get you on camera?
They did.
Whether you make the,
I didn't know I was going to be, mind you, but yes.
Whether you and I make the cut is to be seen, and
hopefully not.
Hopefully, yeah.
I think we were setting up. We were in a rush or something at Duxford.
That was Duxford, yeah.
Yeah, you were mid sort of canopy.
Well, yeah, we had about 20 minutes to set up and move the van, and then Pete, who's a lovely chap, the cameraman, basically rocked up and said, "Oh, could you just put this mic on, please, and then tell me what you're doing?" And I was like, "No."
Like a pole in your hand.
Yeah, I was like, "No, you're going to have to wait 20 minutes, I'm afraid, Pete." So look out for the announcement of that, and please do give it a watch and let us know what you think. The guys, particularly Paramjit and Chris, of course, will be watching and listening for your feedback, and we will as well. So there's Paramjit. I think that's a clip from the last one.
The other one.
Just googled Paramjit Airfix and his face pops up. So
A bit blurry.
It's a bit blurry. Sorry, that's my fault. I mean, if this presentation was done by Brooke and not 10 minutes before this, we were due to come down here and film, it would be 10 times better. You wait until you see the next slide.
Aviation Photo Awards. So, it's a good opportunity to kind of clear up announcements and things. But this project, I don't know what you call it,
Yep. Activity
launched a few months back in the summer. So, doing what I do in social media, every day will be tagged in some form of photography, aviation photography. And it's such an area of interest, isn't it? If you're
so aligned to what we do.
Yeah, to scale modelling. So, put our heads together, and Aviation Photo Awards was won, the Airfix Aviation Photo Awards.
Yeah, we thought if people, send photos in of wildlife every year to that very well-known BBC programme, then surely there'd be a few people out there that want to send in their photos of aircraft and stuff, and how little did we know how mental it was going to go.
Yeah, it's been amazing. We've had over. Am I allowed to say how many entries?
Yeah, go on. Yeah,
almost 2,500 entries we received. And it was the unfortunate job of Ian Black, former RAF pilot Ian Jack.
Yeah.
Ian Black.
Yeah.
And photographer Ian, to judge the awards.
At every single one.
So we are, as we film this, very close to announcing the winner. We're down to the final 4 entries now, so it won't be long. And sorry for the
really sorry for the delay. We honestly didn't anticipate 2,500 photos our entries, and it's been amazing.
Yeah, I mean the calibre of entries.
It's not made our life easier at all.
No. No.
And it's been absolutely amazing, and something that we will certainly do again. Sorry, Brooke. And we actually, we've had quite a few people phone us up and say we really want to be part of this with you next year. Which is great, but it does mean that it's just taken us a lot longer to go through the entries. And
but as is the nature when you do something for the first time, you learn from these things. So next year,
hopefully Ian Black will be.
Well, we do have a judge lined up for next year already, so that I won't disclose. But
don't know if I know that.
You do know that.
Yeah.
But so thank you so much to everyone who entered. The photos, all of them were just amazing. Weren't they?
Yeah.
So stay tuned to Airfix social media for updates.
Yeah, so there's one winner, and is there a couple of round?
There's one winner, one runner-up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there you are. Thank you, Brooke, for covering that one.
Yeah, sorry.
And thank you, Ian, if you're watching, for going through all of those photos.
No, thank you. Thank you so much, Ian.
So if you've obviously, if that's something that you really wanted to be part of and you missed the opportunity, then look out for us again next year. Look out for the posts on social media again next year and on our website. And during the summer, we'll start it up again. Summer is the ideal time, of course, with all the air shows and giving people the opportunity to take amazing photos of current flying aircraft.
And if you've entered but aren't the lucky winner, by all means, please share your photos with us online and on social media. Yeah. Because they really should be seen. They're so good.
Yeah. They are all amazing. Anyway. What does this? Oh no, this is the next slide. Who did this one? Me. I couldn't get them all to lay out properly, so there was a magic button in PowerPoint that just sort of did it for me. But so this slide is all about the new products that we released this year. And
what a year!
What a year! And we hoped, we had a good feeling, should I say, about about 2022 and the products that we announced at the beginning of the year and we're releasing, and we weren't wrong, and it's been fantastic to be part of it and support obviously all the hard work and design that goes into bringing these products to life and seeing them out there in the marketplace. And I'm pleased to say that every single product that we announced in January has been released this year. Every single one. We don't know of a time we've ever done that before. There's usually always been one or two that just
held back a bit.
Yeah, haven't made it for whatever reason. And of course, the Tempest was announced last year, 2021, and it was one of those products that was held back until for various reasons until this year. So you had this year's range and one of last year's. Oh, and the ambulance, of course, that wasn't planned for this year. That was a year or so below, due to delays and stuff. So, but everything else has been released, albeit the Spitfire in the last few weeks, which brings its challenges because the number of, the demand and production capabilities, it's just taking us a little while to fulfil existing orders. But so everything's been released. Amazing. We put some examples on the table here.
Do you have a favourite?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, do you? I was going to ask you that, actually. Do you have a favourite?
This is really difficult. I would probably say the Anson, which is what we've called the dark horse, haven't we, of 2022. I think because just no one expected it, did they? So, but when we first saw this in the office and it was being built up, the texture, the fabric texture detail, just blew me away.
Yep.
So Spitfire close second, I would say. They're all fantastic. It's a really difficult choice.
Yeah, I mean,
You?
Did I say to you the other day, this is like trying to choose your favourite child?
Yeah.
It's all right if you've only got one. I honestly, the Anson is amazing, and as you without repeating what you said, but when the test shots turned up at the Anson, it was just like, wow.
Yeah.
The work that's gone into that is unreal, and given that pretty much everything on the table was designed during a lockdown of some sorts, the team did an amazing job. So the Anson. The ambulance, I do like the ambulance, and I didn't put that on the table. I do like vehicles just because you can get away with so many modelling sins and just cover it in mud. We
threw in a pint glass as well.
Oh yeah, the pint glass, which I always try and model, which should still be on our website. Actually, it wasn't. We've got stock. It just wasn't on our website the other day. So if you want an Airfix pint glass or know someone that wants an Airfix pint glass, you can now go and buy just the pint glass. Obviously, we did that offer for our direct website where you could buy the ambulance to get a free pint glass. But I think the ambulance for me.
Interesting.
And the schemes are just really cool. There's a Cornter scheme, which is like a stripy scheme, and which is really different. A stripy desert scheme. Yeah. Because it feels wrong just to pick the Spitfire. But they are all amazing.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. As you said, have you got a favourite kit out there? The viewers watching, have you got a favourite kit? Of all of our releases this year, not just new tools, but our re-releases, our products with new parts, of course, our vintage classic re-releases. I couldn't put them all on the slide. It's a messy enough slide as it is.
Can you imagine the cut-up?
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to see it. But have you got a favourite kit? If you had to choose one, what would it be? Put your comments in there below, and we'd love to see it. And perhaps we'll do a mini award upstairs if it's one of the designers.
We did recently put out a poll actually asking, how do you choose which kit to build? Is it based on scale? Is it based on era, subject, and or
what takes your fancy?
Whatever takes your fancy, and that won outright. So it was quite. Well, we knew that anyway, I think.
Yeah, we had a good feeling that it was. People do prefer certain eras or type of aircraft, or fleet air arm, or whatever, RAF or arm vehicles or whatever. And we know that people also have a preferred scale, but I guess the great thing about modelling is that people are usually happy to move around a little bit.
Yeah, like what they like.
Yeah.
But let us know. How do you pick?
How do you pick? Then the next one, we are coming to the end. I honestly, we've been running for a little while, a lot longer than I thought we were going to be sat here running for.
Just a load of twaddle.
Yeah, just what are these two people talking about?
If you're still with us.
Who are they? Yeah. So obviously this year we attended a number of air shows for the first time, obviously, since the various COVID lockdowns, and it was fantastic. And we've talked about the Duxford air shows. We went along to RIAT, the Royal International Air Tattoo, in July.
July, yes.
Very long weekend, and fantastic.
Yeah, that was a real eye opener for me, because the first event was Duxford, next was RIAT, and on the scale.
You'd never been to an air show before?
I've never been to an air show. Can you believe that? I've never been to an air show. But yeah, got to RIAT. I was just obviously just blown away, wasn't I?
Yeah. So great. So I know there's a lot of modelers watching that also come and found us at RIAT. So thanks for that. It's always a nice lift when people sort of hang around a little bit and to speak to you, just to say, I've seen your videos on YouTube, well done. And actually, I didn't say, but with the Scale Model World, which could be a slide in here, I think it is a slide, isn't it? I'll hold on to that little nugget then, if I remember. But
I was just going to say that unfortunately, RIAT will always be the event that I had a rather embarrassing, unfortunate incident at.
What was?
I was filming with the lovely, I can't remember his name now, I'm talking about it, Historic Helicopters, can't remember his name. Yep. Anyway, very kindly jumped up on the Wessex, to film the cockpit for me. I leant against the engine. Exhaust, yeah. And just rubbed my face. I think I had hay fever or something. So unbeknownst to me, I'm covered in engine muck. You
tried to go a bit SAS, didn't you?
I carried on filming, talking, speaking and interviewing people. You neglected to let me know, of course.
I thought it was funnier not to.
The photos are great from that.
But he did. He told you.
Yes, thankfully. But yeah, it did make the team giggle. So.
Yeah, you were sort of going all cammed up.
It was like that.
It's great. So, he said, that's why you don't touch the big sooty exhaust.
Yes, noted.
So RIAT, we hope to be there again next year. Win a flight on a Spitfire. We've already covered this off, but so very quickly, go on our website until the end of Jan 2023. If you buy any form of starter set or gift set, then of course you will be entered to win the experience of a lifetime in the back seat of one of these amazing Spitfires. Our good friends down at Spitfires.com. Which they're based at Goodwood, by the way, which is in the south of England. And then certain times of the year, they have to move to a satellite airfield when Goodwood is taken over by racing cars and all that sort of stuff.
Things about wings,
Yeah, so they're essentially evicted from their home for a few weeks of the year. But they quite like the point of difference, which is quite nice for them. So. Oh, there wasn't a Telford slide.
I just sent you the photos.
Yeah, I didn't put that bit in.
No.
Well, what I was going to say about Telford actually is we handed out some catalogues to people when they first entered the show on Saturday and Sunday, and there were so many people. And I went and did that with some of the designers, and there were so many people coming along saying, "I love Sprue Talk. I love watching Sprue Talk. It's a fantastic thing." And I must admit, I had lost my mojo for this a little bit, and maybe I shouldn't say that, but it does take a lot out of the day to come down here and film it. And I am, as you will know, not a trained person in front or behind a trained person at all in anything, but presenter. And so, your comments, if that was you when you were coming past and taking a catalogue, and that really helped actually. And I come away from handing catalogues out going, yeah, we need to get back on the Sprue Talk horse, as it were, and do another episode. But then all this other stuff that we've been doing has just taken over our work life in most cases.
No.
So
It's so nice that it gets noticed. It really does mean the world when you hear things like that, because we'll hear it from social media as well. I think people can notice the shift in,
So we've got some exciting Sprue Talk stuff lined up for next year. We still aim to do one a month, but forgive us if we don't quite keep to that through just sheer volume of work. We've never covered quick build off down here.
In a Sprue Talk? No, we haven't. No, actually.
So it'd be great
There's
to get
so much that goes on.
Yeah.
To bring quick build to market. So
we can bring a couple of quick build.
Yeah.
We've got one main quick build designer who's working on something non-quick build at the moment, which is exciting. He won't be able to talk about that, but he has been with us a little while, so at least he can talk about his projects.
Yes,
unlike Ethan
Adam.
the other month, where he couldn't say a single thing about his projects, which is quite
just sat there.
That was a previous Sprue Talk. Go and find it if you've not seen it. That was quite awkward. So we've never covered quick build, but of course range launch at the beginning of January, and keep stay tuned, and we will aim to do a Sprue Talk shortly after that. But January is just a hectic month. If we aren't able to, then of course we will be on the comments on our premiere video, and we'll likely jump on a number of other videos as they are going live. Moz and Co, Model Minutes, and some others last year did a live.
I think they're planning
of the
on
premiere
again.
And I jumped on the comments there with those guys, and they were like, "Is this actual Airfix sat here?" And I'm just like, "Yes, it is. Yes,
Still,
but this could be anyone saying they're Airfix." So maybe I'll jump in a room and go live with them or something. But so there's a lot going on. Anything else? I think we've covered everything. We've run for a long time, a lot longer than I ever thought we would sit in here.
We're very rushed recap, but no, I just want to say thank you very much for every tag, like, comment we see, and there's no Airfix without you guys. So thank you so much for the support.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you for the support. Have a wonderful Christmas. It is, if you're watching this in June, it is December, a week away from Christmas. Have a wonderful Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in Duxford. And range launch, and I hope we see you during the course of the year. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, and comment below if you've got anything to say. Fantastic. Thanks very much.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.